These coffee buns are super soft, light and airy, topped with that crispy coffee butter cookie crust and stuffed in with the goodness of butter in the middle. And we can make these beautiful coffee buns with only a few basic ingredients which are mostly already present in your pantry. And in this easy recipe, we don't need to wait for that double proofing, and so we can save a lot of our time and we can make these coffee buns in less than 2.5 hours. And in this video, we'll see how to make these soft and delicious coffee buns in 5 simple steps. So before we start making our bread dough, let's divide a 50-gram butter block into 10 approximate equal pieces, which we'll use later to fill in the buns. It's better to keep these butter cubes in freezer so that the butter filling doesn't melt too fast while we bake. And now let's start preparing our bread dough. To make these buns, we'll need only 7 basic ingredients. We'll need some flour, some milk, egg and butter to enrich the dough, and some salt and sugar to enhance the flavor, and some yeast as a leavening agent. So into a bowl, add in the milk, which is not cold nor hot but just slightly warm. Then add in the sugar, salt, yeast and an egg, and combine them together. And now add in the softened butter and flour and combine everything together until we get a shaggy mass of dough. And now let's transfer this onto a clean work surface. And we need to knead the dough. And if you're using a stand mixer, then it will be so much easier for you to knead the dough. But if we knead the dough by hands, you may find the dough to be too sticky in the beginning. And at this point, we may get tempted to add more flour into this. But don't do that. Just continue to knead until we get a smooth and elastic dough. And after kneading the dough for 10 to 12 minutes, our dough should be soft and smooth and elastic so that it will spring back when we press it. And you can see our dough is still showing a tendency to stick onto the surface. And we can also check the doneness of our dough by doing a window pane test. If our dough is properly kneaded, the dough should stretch without tearing into a thin membrane that we can see through. And if we use bread flour, we can attain this stage more easily than using plain flour, as it contains more gluten. And now our bread dough is ready for the second step, that is to divide and shape the dough. So we need to divide the dough into 10 equal pieces. We can either eyeball it, or to be more precise, we can use a kitchen scale so that each of them is 60 grams by weight. Now take each piece of dough and tuck in the edges towards the center and roll it into small round balls. And take each dough ball and flatten it into a round disc which is thick in the center and thin towards the edges, and then place the frozen butter cube in the center and wrap it with the dough and pinch and seal the edges to form a round ball. And now place this on a parchment lined baking tray or onto a non-stick baking tray. And now our dough balls are ready for the third step. So wrap it with a plastic film and let the dough balls sit and rise for the next 80 to 90 minutes. And in the meantime, let's prepare our coffee topping. It's so easy to make this. It's actually like how we prepare a cookie dough. For that, we need to make some coffee. So add in half a tablespoon of instant coffee powder into 2 teaspoons of warm water and keep it aside. Now take a small bowl and add in softened butter and sugar and cream them together until they are well combined. And now add in a pinch of salt and add in the coffee mix and then the beaten egg. And combine them together. And after adding the egg, we need to take care not to overbeat, because if we overbeat, it will create more air pockets which will make the crust spongy and not crispy. And now add the flour and mix them together just until everything is well combined. And now our cookie topping is ready. Let's transfer this onto a piping bag. As it contains butter, it's better to keep this in refrigerator if your place is hot. Otherwise, it could melt too quickly in the oven and our buns will have only a thin coffee crust on top. And now after the proofing, our buns are all risen well. And now let's pipe in the buns with the coffee topping. So start from the middle and pipe in a tight circular pattern up to 2/3 of the top part of the buns. And this topping will melt and it will spread in such a way that it will form a coffee shell over the buns. Now our buns are all ready to go into the oven. So bake at 350 Fahrenheit preheated oven for 20 to 22 minutes. And after baking, we'll get those beautiful coffee crusted, soft and fluffy buns. And my home is now filled with a mix of aroma of coffee and fresh baked buns. And these buns are lightly sweet and mildly flavored with coffee. And they goes pretty well with some hot, creamy coffee. And if you are a coffee person, then you will love these buns. I hope you like this coffee buns recipe. Hope you will make this at home and hope you and your family will enjoy these buns. And if you like this video, please give your valuable thumbs up. Please write to me your valuable comments and please don't forget to share this recipe with your friends and family who love coffee. And when you make these buns, please take a picture and send me on our Instagram page, so that I can also see your coffee buns. So thank you so much for your love and support, and thanks for watching this video. See you next time.